Before I get started here, I just want to play one clip that gives me the chills from Charles Hoskinson on why Cardano and what you can look forward to in this episode. Check it out.
So, when people ask you, like, why Cardano? That's why you say it's like, because we're serious. That's why. We want to fucking change the world.
Today, I have a very special episode planned. I thought it was about time as I was very inspired by a recent AMA Spaces, X Spaces with Charles Hoskinson, the legendary founder of Cardano, and just an incredible leader in general. One of my favorite people in this space. I got to catch up with him in Singapore at Champ Medici's party, Snoop Dogg's son, who is deeply involved in the Cardano community and also doing things with Clay Nation and their friends. And they're just some incredible people in this space. And I believe that Cardano deserves to have some spotlight here. And I was listening to his spaces that he did after being in Singapore and his feedback and his thoughts, and it just moved me so deeply that I felt that I needed to create another YouTube dedicated to shining a light on everything that Cardano has accomplished and everything that Cardano has done. So before I get into this episode, if you're new to the Cardano ecosystem, welcome. And if you're a seasoned veteran, welcome back, ADA gang. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You are a part of the success of the core success of this whole ecosystem. Those of you who know me know that Cardano was one of my first investments, if not my first, also Champ Medici's, and it's very special to me because I was looking for something that was going to be around for a while. So I replied to Charles's X-Space AMA and I said, there's no doubt in my mind that Cardano is going to form a part of the core atomic building blocks of the future of blockchain technology. And my thesis was simple. When I set out to find projects in this space, I wanted something that would stand the test of time, be around for the next 10 years, make a difference, be impactful to the world, and that would be a good investing thesis in and of itself. And that led me to do a 65x in the first cycle that I had invested in Cardano. And, I think that's just the beginning. And although it's nice to make those really big gains, I do believe that Cardano is going to be around for a very long time. And I continue to hold and I continue to buy. And I'm so excited to be a part of this ecosystem. So let's have a look now at some of the things that people have said in the past about Cardano and how Charles Hoskinson has responded to those. I believe that Cardano is writing the playbook for the future of these narratives and kind of like setting the tone for finding those horses that win the race in what is the blockchain tech in the future, right? So let's have just a look at a few of those questions, including one of the early developers that contributed to Ethereum, who I interviewed in Singapore, who seems to be under the assumption that that Cardano is not moving fast enough. Let's have a look now.
Any technology that prevailed was not created because it took them 20 years to figure it out. They move fast, they fix problems, and they get to a very good product very quickly. If it takes forever to do it, someone else will do the quick iteration, will fail fast to succeed fast.
So his methodical approach is...
Yeah, but his approach is basically going to work only for like 3 use cases on the planet, while everyone else, other chains are covering the real use cases that we already have.
He said that he can make the American election system look like a toy with Cardano. Do you think you'll be able to do that, or do you think it's all just going to be...
Well, sure you can do that, but you can do it already with almost any other chain already. Like, can you give me one use case that I can do only with Cardano today?
Hey, man, I just want to get all the other points. I want to get all the opinions because I happen to be a big fan of Charles and a first investor. That was one of my first investments. And I like what he said. Okay, but I agree with you that there needs to be a balance. He is very scientific, right?
There are problems today, right?
Yeah.
And you need to fix them fast. But if it takes 10 years or 5 years, however long it takes, and the smart contracts are still not on par with what we have in other chains, then how can it be useful? And that's the only goal to have, to be useful right now.
Yeah.
Not in 10 years from now. I don't care. And so, listen, in the tech world, if you want to compete, you have to be very fast.
All right. We have our horses in the race. We'll see, right?
Let me say one other thing. The Cardano chart, the chart, right?
Yeah.
It's very predictable. So I have 3 trading strategies.
So did you do a 65x too?
No, I came in later. I made enough money with that. So I have to say that the chart, it's very easy to invest in the chart and to get out at the right time. Very easy.
Well, wouldn't that be the same for the whole altcoin market?
No, they are volatile. Like the chart is smooth. Like, it's easy to trade the chart, the Cardano chart. And that's the only positive thing I have to say about it.
Hey, we're going to make him a believer. So he's saying that Cardano is only going to work for about 3 use cases on the planet, and that you need to fail fast, break things fast, and go faster, because if you don't, somebody else will step in, and they will. Charles Hoskinson has just an epic response to these kinds of comments, and I'm going to play that for you now, because I really do believe that although there's some validity to the fact that it is important to get the product to market, and that Charles Hoskinson himself has admitted that we're lacking marketing, this is his epic response to Cardano moving slowly.
I mean, how fast would you like us to move? Like at Luna speed? Was that fast enough? I mean, it's kind of preposterous when you're talking about a system that is in charge of tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars of other people's money. And at the end of the day, if they fail, they could even result in death. Like a privacy coin, if a person gets doxxed, they could be killed by their government or arrested. That you would say, oh, well, the only thing that matters is getting as many customers as quickly as possible. What they're really saying is, we'd like the token price to go up a 10x or 100x so we can sell and make money. If you're really concerned about government adoption, company adoption, and real use and utility and billions of customers, the protocol should be around for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years or 40 years, like TCP/IP, for example, with the internet. So you have plenty of time to think about these things. What really matters is your growth curve. Cardano keeps getting more capable every year. And what have we lost? We now have smart contracts. We have blockchain-based governance. We have the best-in-class consensus protocol. We have a strong, stable community. We've always been a top 10 cryptocurrency. And it looks like we're going to fare very well in the next bull market, especially given that there's a lot of great dApps that are in our ecosystem. Meanwhile, we haven't had $35 billion of DeFi hacks. We haven't had catastrophic protocol failure. We haven't had a 9% reduction in token value overnight because of a flawed economic model.
So as you can see, we don't want to move at Luna speed. And it is important that who's ever working on these robust chains that, as Charles said, are in charge of people's money, and sometimes in the cases of billions and tens of billions, we want these platforms to be secure and well thought out. And I just love his philosophy in general. I think that there's a lot to learn from him as a leader. And now that Cardano is, that we have this on-chain governance that's completely decentralized, he's saying that it's going to be easier for us to approve these marketing initiatives and to have Cardano have presence at events around the world, including at Rare Evo. I love the Rare Evo guys. Shout out to you. We just had a really cool event in Vegas. We got to hang out with Charles Hoskinson. It was a very cool event. I highly recommend it. And those kind of events are going to put Cardano on the map, essentially.
We are so far ahead of these other ecosystems. And they say, but how will you survive? How will you get users? It's like, we've been around for 9 years, guys. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to lose the people that we have, and we're methodical in every single thing we do. And we don't have $80 to $120 million a day in hacks. We don't have tons of scams and Ponzi schemes and issues inside the ecosystem. It's a much smarter ecosystem. And if you want to build something for mainstream consumers, this is one of your few options to do that. And you know that there's consistency and a balanced hand because the chain has been running for 7 years straight, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's never gone down.
So these are stats that are pretty astounding. Actually, they've been around for 9 years and the chain has never gone down. It's not been susceptible to major hacks like other chains, and it's secure and reliable. And that's what we need to scale. That's what, institutions are going to want. And that's what this space needs more of. So they're seemingly building slowly and quote unquote a ghost chain by, a lot of people in the space. There's actually so much being developed under the hood that's all about to come out in these marketing conferences around the world. And I cannot wait for that. And one of the things I want to point out here, guys, is, Murad is all over X claiming that S&P SPX 6900 is going to be the next $100 billion meme coin because it has a cult-like community that's almost a religion. And he sees that that's going to be something that appeals to people everywhere. But you know what? Cardano has that same community in you guys. I see it. I feel it. I saw it when I was on the ground with you. You guys are the ones that are going to make this happen. And together we can provide the marketing necessary to make it to the mainstream and to get this awareness out there about how amazing the chain actually is. So I didn't include every single detail. It's about a 2-hour-long X space in which Charles gets into great detail as to what has been accomplished in these past years, all of the upgrades, all the amazing things happening on the chain. I will link to the full X space below because I highly recommend you listen to all of it. It's almost like a masterclass in how cryptocurrency and blockchain tech should be built out.
I just want to pick chaos, where it's gone up and down by 400%. And it's had scandals and it has huge insider distributions, and 75% of the time the transactions fail? Or do I want to pick the group of people that are literally building a digital nation, and they're taking it with that seriousness and deliberation that's required, and also have the most brilliant scientists in the world every single day learning and listening and growing, and they're working with some of the most brilliant engineers in the world to solve real problems. And they've created a system that's literally been up for 7 years straight. Even Google hasn't been up for 7 years straight. Wow, that's a great thing. Oh, but it's slow because guy on internet said it's slow. Okay, well, if that's your belief, why don't you go to Aiken's website, go through the tutorial and build something? You come back to me and tell me what your experience is. And then they try it out and they say, wow, okay, every single thing I've heard from this podcaster who has no technical skills or understanding of this ecosystem is absolutely wrong. Okay, it's just absolutely wrong.
I just feel Charles's frustration in this point where he says, like, all these podcasters, all these YouTubers that say it's a dead chain, it's a ghost chain, nothing will ever happen, it's so slow. Even I get told this a lot because people know that it was my first investment or one of my first, and that I am massively bullish on this chain. He says they don't know what they're talking about. They never actually tested it out. They have no technical skills most of the time, and they're just kind of like parroting what they've heard without looking further into it. So what I do like is that he says, and this is all like, in a broader spectrum, I hold many different coins, right? I have the coins that are shiny and sexy that have gone up and down 400%, as Charles refers to, but there's a portion of my portfolio that's stable, that's there, that's like my long-term bets, the Amazons, right? The people who are in this space for the long term to do meaningful work, and that's the seriousness he refers to, and that's the reliability that's necessary in order to achieve that, and not having 75% of the transactions fail, as he refers to. There's a lot that goes into this, and it takes time. It takes time, and the internet's most brilliant minds are gravitating to this space at lightning speed. And so Cardano, it already has 9 years worth of history. Just think about that. It's already been around for 9 years. In the traditional world, they say that a business that's been around for 10 years is likely to be around forever, right? Or, for the foreseeable future. So it's very interesting times indeed for Cardano.
As an ecosystem. We just did the biggest governance upgrade in the history of the cryptocurrency space. We didn't get any love from CoinDesk. We didn't get any love from Cointelegraph. I think, like, when they did the merge with Ethereum, even even Elon Musk was tweeting about it. They're like, well, I guess they did an upgrade. Congratulations. Good for you, bro. We're proud. But what we did is we just solved the upgradability problem in a decentralized way, which means that all the innovations from here on out, we as an ecosystem can do that together. Which means we're always going to be speeding up, we're always going to be making great decisions, and we're always going to have the most advanced technology. Meanwhile, these other guys, they get burdened by the weight of their founder and their foundations and their constituencies. And eventually they stall because they can no longer make decisions because no one governing body can manage hundreds of millions of people. And the bureaucracy kills them. And thus they stop making good decisions, they slow down, they make perverse decisions that benefit certain actors in the ecosystem. On-chain governance solves all of that. And yet, some reason, we're the ones who are leading with that. And so, when people ask you, like, why Cardano? That's why you say, it's like, because we're serious. That's why. We want to fucking change the world.
Whew. This clip for me is just, every time I listen to it, it gives me the chills, and it's actually what compelled me to make this space. So if you're listening and you also feel strongly about this, let me know in the comments that you're there and that you enjoy these kind of videos, because these are some of the ones that I most enjoy making. So what his points are very valid. I mean, decentralized governance, that's something that is a concept that will change the world. And that's what Cardano has been working so hard to achieve. And now they're there. And that decentralized governance, as he says, is no longer going to have to carry the burden of the weight of the founder, of the bureaucracy, and that no one governing body can manage hundreds of millions of people, that we need decentralized governance for. And this is just so groundbreaking and so extremely novel, and just something that can actually change the way we do everything in the world and make it more fair and more just and more equitable and transparent. This is huge. And so I love when he says, why Cardano? Because we're serious and we're going to change the fucking world. So let's go through one more clip as we close this episode up to finalize, just exactly where we're headed as a community in general.
But in the long term, what does it mean? It means that they keep that culture of excellence and that dedication to the craft. And I know from here on out, as long as that mentality is there, every single thing these guys touch, it's going to turn to gold. And it's going to be around in 10 years and 20 years. And it's going to be magic. And it's just going to be a treasured artifact that's a gift to everybody who uses it and brings happy memories to everybody. That's what I'd like to create here with Cardano. And I think we're so close to it as an ecosystem. It's not just a cryptocurrency. It's a culture. It's a digital nation. It's an environment. There's craftsmanship that goes into every line of code, into the beauty of the system. There's all these different tribes of people that have come together to work together, to think about things. And is it perfect? No. And are there challenging days? Yes. But eventually the world will come to know what we've created is something that's so special and so unique that no one in the world has seen before. And then they'll realize the power of what we've created. It's going to unlock the imaginations of so many countless millions of people and give them hope that they can solve the problems in the world and give them infrastructure to solve those problems, whether they be economic, political, or social. That's the reality of what we've constructed. And so when these guys say, well, the on-chain metrics, they don't look so good, or this, that, and the other, it's so inconsequential to me because I keep asking the more fundamental question: do we have the right culture? Do we have the right people? Do we have the right vision? And do we have the right processes to get there? And if the answer is no, then we go and fix that. But if we do, there's an inevitability behind the dominance of this standard. Because at the end of the day, everybody else is going to stall out. They'll get stopped either because of regulatory problems or because of governance overhead, or the fact that the protocols they've chosen have a shelf life and they can't quite get beyond it. And then they can't upgrade to the new ones because they're weighed down by their ecosystem. And ultimately by the fragmentation of the fact that they bring a whole bunch of people together who don't have a political system to solve problems together. So eventually they fragment and they break apart. So we will be here in 10 years. And I doubt the vast majority of the top 10 will be here in 10 years. And I have no doubt if we continue to be here, we will pass Bitcoin. And Cardano will be the #1 cryptocurrency in the world because of the efforts of countless millions of people working together.
Wow. Again, so many amazing things said. It's not just cryptocurrency, it's culture. It's a digital nation. And there's an inevitability of dominance to this because that kind of power can't be stopped, right? Once you get to a certain level and you've built up something so amazing, it's going to eventually catch on as long as it's persistent and the vision continues and people continue to build and upgrade the system. This is going to be around for the foreseeable future, as I said before. Bold prediction indeed, but not one that's completely impossible. Although the Bitcoin maxis might have something to say about this, Charles says that, we will be around for the next 10 years and probably one of the only top 10 that will be around for the next 10 years. And if that is true, probably bigger than Bitcoin. Those are big words. I know a lot of you will have a lot to say about that, but hey, you got to credit the man for just being an incredible leader. And he's just nonstop. He doesn't falter. He doesn't waver. And he's steady and stern and strong in his viewpoint. I absolutely love that. He's a very cool guy as well outside of what he does here with Cardano. And I enjoy catching up with him again somewhere around the world sometime soon. In fact, we've been invited to go to his ranch and film a little bit out there where he lives in Wyoming. And I heard from the community that he has a very good pig named Nike, in fact, which is now a meme because that's how strong this community is. They actually created a meme out of Charles Hoskinson's good pig Nike. So yeah, it's a fun community to be a part of, and it's truly doing things that have never been done before. So that's just my vision. Again, if you aren't a holder or you hold a lot of coins, just keep that in mind that this is all about diversification. And this is for me one of my solid plays that's a more stable play that I'm going to hold for a very long time versus others where I may trade in and out of or hold just for the duration of this bull run. So I'll end by showing you this chart now. I always like to show this chart at the end of streams or when I talk about Cardano, because it truly highlights just, the power of narratives and although this amazing tech is being built, it's not always reflected in the price of the token, right? Which is why I believe this is an asymmetrical bet as well. So I bought way back here. One of my bigger buys was back here in February of 2020. And then the halving was here in May. And as you can see from that February, there was not much movement in the token until another year after that. And as you can see from the halving, Cardano started its epic ascent right around that December period. So that actually is really telling to maybe possibly what we can do this cycle, as we have now upgraded the tech. We're going to have more marketing from the decentralized governance, being able to vote on, bills to spend that money to make that happen. And you guys are just such a strong community in general. So as you can see, it went from around, I bought it at just under 5 cents, and it it catapulted to over $3 in the last bull run. And now when I started this YouTube channel again, it was called 200 Days to Halving. It was right back here in October when we were around, I think, 26 cents. I even have it written here. From current price at 26 cents, it ran all the way to 38. And then from there, it took off to about 75. So it was a good run back then. And now we're back to, levels of support. In my opinion, a phenomenal buy. I'm buying at these levels. And if history repeats or just rhymes, just has to rhyme, we're going to have an incredible bull run, because we've made progress on top of, it being a good time in general for the cryptocurrency market. So I'm very bullish on the future of Cardano, as you can probably tell. And, if you're a Cardano holder, let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen for Cardano this bull run. And if you're not, and if you don't like Cardano, let us know too. And we'll have a healthy, heated debate as to why down in the comments. It's all welcome. So again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Megan Nelson, aka Crypto Megan, and I'll see you tomorrow.